Hi, welcome to the 6502 show. Today, I've got a 6800 special edition again. I want to show you my adaptation of one of the very first disk operating systems for the 6800, Flex. Flex was a product of Technical Systems Consultants back in the late 70s, and they continued to develop the program well into the early 80s, where it ultimately became OS 9. You may recall in an earlier video where I built my own little tiny filing system called Little File. Anyway, that was about as simple as it got. You saved the entire bottom 32K of memory, and that's all you did, the state of the machine. Well, Flex is a lot better. You've got a real file system. You don't have directories though. There's only the root. Everything is going to live there.
Take it to the root one time. Take it to the root two times. Take it to the root three times. Take it to the root four times.
But it's still a huge step above what Little File offers. So, as I started in my journey to adapt Flex to my 6800 machine, I took the knowledge that I got in building Little File, especially how the CF card addressing works. I also hunted around for some other folks online doing things, and I came across the ET-3400 Group, which deals with the 6800-based Heathkit trainer, and one of the fellas there is doing an implementation of Flex for that machine, and there were lots of breadcrumbs, and Mark C. on the group turned out to be super helpful, and I really appreciated his advice on several big points that I had to overcome. Well, the main document that I needed was the Flex Adaptation Guide for the 6800 machine, and DRAMP happened to have a copy of that, and that is exactly what I needed. While the Flex operating system was originally designed around the Southwest Technical Products 6800 computer, it could be adapted to just about anything that ran a 6800, including a crazy homebrew machine like my own monster. So with this document that they had, and we can see here that copyright 1980, they already anticipated that there was going to be all kinds of hobbyists out there that wanted to adapt Flex for themselves. And the guide provides for everything you need to know to do this. There's some introductory material here, but the stuff you really needed to pay attention to was a console I/O driver, which ended up being pretty simple to write. Then the disk driver package. Now, the whole thing was designed for floppy disks, and having to turn things around in my head so that it worked for my compact flash system, that was tricky. That took me a good week to do that. And then there's some testing procedures you can do and how to bring up Flex. And this quick loader thing right here, this is pretty much what I use to load Flex. I haven't made a bootstrap ROM routine to stick into SWATbug, but, can certainly be done. The new disk routine, mentioned that. The new disk routine, this is for formatting floppy disks. You can pretty much not do that. It's not necessary. There's all kinds of appendices and various additional customizing options you can do. And just about anything you need to port this and get it to work on your 6800 system, you can do it. There was also an adaptation guide for the 6809 machines. So you could basically use Flex 9 on your homebrew outfit, and wherever you had your ACIA or your PIA or your RAM configuration, you could set it all up, just like you can here for the 6800. The console driver was pretty easy to put together, but I thought I'd show you the disk driver package for compact flash, and we won't go into any real detail here, but I'll just make some general observations and notes. One thing that you'll see right off the bat is that Flex requires, for the 6800, 8K of RAM from A000 to BFFF. Otherwise, it just will not work at all. And relocating it, that's well above my pay grade. So just put some RAM there. Okay, I've got some internal equates here for SWATbug, because we're going to use all that I/O and various bits and bobs there. My compact flash card, as you may recall from the little file video, is at 9000. So I just told it that's where it is. That's where I'm going to do. Also, Daniel, thank you. Daniel Tufvesson's QuickFile 1.0 provided me all the guideposts I needed to figure out how to use a compact flash with a Motorola-derived 8-bit processor. His is hooked up to a 6303, and he's got a full-blown operating system with directory structures and all kinds of things. But the guts of the thing, the heart of it, come from QuickFile. And that's just really sector read and write and seek routines. And that's really what we're going to be doing here. All but the last by DT, my man. So a little routine to initialize the card, wait for its ready state, report an error, read, set the address, which is essentially a seek function. We've got a little jump table here for all of the drive I/O. And here are the routines. These routines are in the same place and serve the same function as if there were a real floppy disk drive, but we've got our virtual drive set up on the compact flash card. And here we can select a drive. We're going to read a sector from the card, and we're going to put it into a buffer and process it down and store it in RAM where Flex tells it to be stored. And its other function there, the write, reads brother. And the verify routine, which I could never get working to my satisfaction. So here's what it does now. Clears the B register, so nope, no error, everything's cool, and return. And all this other stuff here, I was doing, building a checksum and doing comparisons. And, well, at Mark's suggestion, we just bypassed this. It works a lot better. Thanks, Mark. Well, with the disk driver routines complete and everything else ready to go, I had some disk images. I needed to build a couple little tools to make the magic happen. So let's go check out the magic.
I bring you this brief, peaceful interlude to address a subject that we've got to talk about, and that is compact flash cards. The Flex format is not anything that any modern operating system knows about. My Linux box has a partition editor, and it has no idea what's on that card. So I had to develop these tools that I just talked about, and I'm going to show you these right now.
Okay, let's look at a couple of the tools that I made and then get Flex up and running. Alrighty, let's take a quick look at what I would like to load. And the first thing is the disk mounter and directory reader. A little program I wrote to help me mount the disks for the system. I jumped to 100. All right. I would like to access drive number 0. 2 drives in this classic 2-drive type setup. So, and here are the disks that I have stored that are available to be, quote, inserted into the drive. Let's look at, Flex for SPLM. So I will if I wanted to see the directory of it before I loaded it, I could just type D for directory. I want to see the directory for that disk. There are all the things on it. And let's mount it. And the only thing that is different between this disk and disk 00 is that I changed the edit command so that it will work with SPLM. All right, that's all it was. I'll just run it again to put a disk in drive 1, the various disks that I have, up to 99 listed. And I don't know about you, but 200 disks, that's a lot of disks. So let's load the SPLM program and work disk. Done. All right, now our bootloader, which could be burned into ROM, but it isn't. Here's a loader I wrote. Before I show you that, though, I did want to show you a couple things that I added. This is compact flash to RAM, and what it allows me to do is, say I've altered disks or something and I want to save that disk and put it into an image file, that program will do it. This program takes an already made image file that I have split up into pieces, and this will allow me to bring it into the Flex 3 compact flash drives. And finally, this is new disk, which is part of the original Flex package, and that allowed you to format a blank floppy disk that you put into your drive. Really kind of unnecessary with all these disk images that are floating around that I would have to make a blank disk, but I did it anyway. Anyway, back to the loader. Let's get this thing running. That's it. I want to do a quick check of memory, though, because this should be 0. That tells the loader what drive it's to boot off of. And then I also want to change this. This is the track and sector that it wants to find flex.core. And in this particular disk, it is 0509. Now, me make pretty someday by having the loader ask for the track and sector, or to make sure exactly what disk drive you want to boot off of. I'll do it someday. For now, this works. All right, so to load her up, let's jump to the start address. Away we go, and that's all there was to it. This is the cold start address for Flex 3, and we're in 6800 Flex version 3. It wants to know the date, and today's date is 05/21/24. Boom. That's all there was to it. We can take a look at what's on this boot disk. Yep, that's exactly what we saw before. All these various commands that you can run. But it's got an assembler on it, an editor. It's got TSC Basic 2 on this particular disk. And after that runs, I have about 16K to play with. And hey, most programs are under 16K. Not all, but most. All right, well, the first thing I want to do is I want to turn off the verify function because it's buggy, it's wonky, and sometimes it will corrupt my work disks. And that is a pain in the behind to fix. So yes, we're going to turn that off. And really, the verify function, what it did was it would verify a track that was just written versus what's in RAM, every single sector, and to make sure that the data was written properly onto the floppy disk. Well, with the compact flash card, I really don't feel that's necessary. I mean, if the thing's going to fail, it's probably going to fail catastrophically. So it really isn't a big deal. Then the last thing to do is we're going to assign the work disk to be drive 1. Now when I type directory, I should get a directory for what's in drive 1. And sure enough, I do. There is small programming language for microcomputers up on the top left, and we've got some libraries, and
various things I've done to learn SPLM. You can see on the third column, I wrote Chuck-a-Luck in SPLM just so that I could learn the scripting language and how it works and then make sure I could compile something. So it was a lot of fun, and we'll go into that at a later video. But all the normal things that you can do, that's one type of catalog command. All the normal things you can do with a disk operating system, you can do with Flex. I'm adding the .0 because we've made our work disk disk 1. And let's see, you can append files. You can print out the date. It is not 1924, just in case any time travelers out there are wondering. No Y2K bug fix in this. There are patches that you can do, and that's just fine. But you can list a file, you can print a file, you can save a section of memory, some machine language or whatever. You can get BASIC running here. Let's just go ahead and run BASIC. Error 4. Well, not too worried about that anyway. Print, free. Sure enough, that's how much room I've got. It does what you think it would do. Yeah, I can't do that in immediate mode, can I? And we list it, and it's basic, so it's going to do what it does. Yeah, all right. So if I want to send it a command like this, I can go +dir, and I can get the directory right from BASIC. And it's got lots of, all the usual stuff you would see in any type of, say, Altair Microsoft BASIC derived BASIC from the 80s. TSC BASIC version 2 is very similar, and actually has a few extra things in it as well. Okay, so let's go back to Flex. And we get our triple plus prompt. And if we do a directory of drive 0, we're back here. Can do a big, whopping full info directory with the cat F command. And here you get all your files, the track and sector numbers, where they start and end, how many sectors it's taking up, when they were created. If you look up towards the top of this at files 38 and 39, the dates are a little odd. That's because Mike, I think that's from Mike's Y2K fix for his patch. Anyway, this is Flex. This is what it does. And one thing you may notice is that there are no directories on that giant list of 51 files. They're all just going to be where they're going to be. Like I can't have a utilities folder and a basic directory. No, it's all just got to exist there. It's one of the reasons why you have numerous work disks. I've just got, like on one for basic, Southwest Technical Products Basic 3.5, their disk basic. I've got a disk dedicated to that. The only thing on it is like the directory command and the basic itself. And these disks are 100K. That's it. Single-sided, single density, 40 tracks, and 10 sectors per track. That is Flex. It's running. It works. Hooray!
There is a massive amount of software out there for you to explore once you get Flex up and running. There is an archive that Simon Wynn has put together of most every disk image known to computer kind. And he's got it on his website. There's a link to that in the description below, along with resources for everything else you've seen here. And while a lot of Simon's archive deals with 6809 and OS 9, Flex 9 programs, there's still a lot to discover for the 6800, Flex 2, and Flex 3. Well, as I said, links to everything you saw here in the description below. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and had as much fun watching it as I had making it. If you did like it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. There's some more stuff coming up soon. All right, well, that's all I got for you right now. So till we see each other again, take care.